But do you want to do that one after the candle lighting?
Whenever you usually do it.
Yeah, after the candle lighting.
Yeah, right.
Okay, we'll do
so
You
let me
Lead
find
My
an
Fish.
opening song. Well, maybe I'll do like a wedding type song, right? Like,
Sure.
like one of the
I mean, I'm not going to say anything till I... Yeah.
Well, but it would be thematic.
Yeah, you could do that.
So is she feeling better or what's?
Yeah, she feels fine. It's just, but you can test positive for
I
weeks.
thought she wasn't feeling fine, wasn't she?
A week ago.
Oh.
She had a fever on Sunday, and that was the end of it. And I talked to my doctor, and everything's fine. She's not contagious anymore. But she just felt it was more comfortable to stay home. And I tested this morning. I've tested twice this week.
Do, di, li, va, ni, lo, haro, he, ba, sho, shani, do, di, li. Page 129. Do, di, li, va, ni, lo, haro, he, ba, sho, shani, do, di, li, mi, zo, do, la, min, ha, midbar, mi, zo, do, la, min, ha, midbar. Do, di, li, va, ni, lo, haro, he, ba, sho, shani, do, di, li, mi, kuteret, mor, ulevona, Levona, do, di, li. Do, di, li, va, ni, lo, haro, he, ba, sho, shani, do, di, li, ba, sho, shani, do, di, li.
Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos to all of you, and a special welcome to those of you who are here for the first time. It's good to see you. We're here to celebrate Shabbat, but we're also here to celebrate something very special. And those of you who are somewhat familiar with Jewish liturgy or have been to a Jewish wedding recently may have recognized the song that Gordon just sang. Does anyone know the first two words of the song? Do, di, li. And it comes from Song of Songs, very famous verse, I am my beloved's and my beloved is mine. So this song is often sung at different weddings, Jewish weddings. And we're here to honor Lauren and Zach on the occasion of their recent wedding and their marriage. And I have some things I want to say a little bit later. Mark Samrick's going to come up. He wants to say a few words. Gordon, in his own way, is going to also communicate via music to you. But really, this evening is dedicated to the two of you. We are so happy that you're a part of this community, and we are so happy that you are now married. And an ufruf is normally done before the wedding, but because of a variety of factors, we're doing sort of a postmodern ufruf, and we're going to recognize your marriage after the fact, but we want to honor it nonetheless. So that'll happen toward the end of the service, but what I'd like to do now is invite you to light our Shabbat candles, and if you want to follow the blessing, it's on page 120 in your prayer book. And by the way, ufruf is a Yiddish word. I don't really know how to translate it. Maybe someone might know. I don't know if there is an actual translation, but it's sort of the ceremony, the public ceremony to bless the couple who are about to get married, or in our case, who have just gotten married.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chalik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chalik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you.
You can't blow that out.
I know. Page 128. There are a number of songs, a number of prayers that were composed about 400 years ago by a group of young mystics who lived in the Galilee in the town of Tzfat. Has anyone been to Tzfat in the north? Quite a number of you. It's a beautiful mystical town, and the Kabbalat Shabbat service includes a number of those prayers that were composed at that time and in that place. We're going to do one of them tonight, which is called Yedid Nefesh on page 128, and I think I've said in the past, particularly during the High Holy Days, and most of you are probably not thinking about Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur yet, but I guarantee you rabbis and music directors are already starting to obsess, and synagogue directors are starting to obsess about the high holidays already, even though they don't start till the end of September. And a lot of the liturgy of the high holidays talks about God as transcendent and mysterious and up there in the heavens. This particular song, Yedid Nefesh, talks about God in a very different way, not as up there, but in here within us. And a Yedid, a friend, a partner in our journey, a very different way of thinking about God on Shabbat. So please join us, Yedid Nefesh on page 128.
This is a different melody. We've done it a while back, and it may not correlate exactly with the words in your book, but we're about to find out. We'll start with a nigun. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Yedid nefesh af al rachamah meshochav dach el ritzonach yarut avdach kemo hayal yishtachaveh el mul hadarach ki ye'avlod yedidutah mino vetuf vechol ta'am yai lai 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 ya la lai 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 lai
That melody to Yedid Nefesh is one that it's one of the traditional melodies, but when I lived in Jerusalem, one of my favorite synagogues would play just that melody every Friday night, and I haven't heard it in quite a while. I love it.
Oh.
I don't know what you guys think of that particular melody, but
we will not be taking a vote.
but we won't be taking. But I hope you will sing it again because
Yeah,
it's a very beautiful, almost haunting melody.
Yeah.
We're going to turn to page 144 for the Chatzi Kaddish, and I'd like to ask you if you're able to please rise.
Yitkada v'yitkadash shemei rabba v'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael bagala bagala uv'izman kariv v'yimeru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach, U'lam Almei Almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yithaleh, V'yithalav, Shemei Lekudesha Barichu, Ve'la Mikol Birchata V'shirata, Tushvechata v'nechemata damiran b'yalma v'imiru. Amen.
Page 146.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Lie, la 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 lie, la 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 lie, la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Hamevorach Le'olam Va'ed Hamevorach Hamevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Page 149. Please join me at the top of the page in English. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Let's also read together at the top of page 151. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam la'ot hayadecha v'hayu latotafot beineinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkaru asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 157. Emet ve'emunah kol zot, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 158.
Yam bam bam bim bim bye ya ba bye bye bim bam. Yam bam bam bim bim bye ya ba bye bye bim bam. Ya la 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 ya ba bye bye bim bam. Ya la 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 ya ba bye bye bim bam. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. No ratahilot o sefele, no ratahilot o sefele. Mahalachutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Yam bam bam bim bim bye ya ba bye bye bim bam. Yam bam bam bim bim bye ya ba bye bye bim bam. Ya la 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 ya ba bye bye bim bam. Ya la 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 ya ba bye bye bim bam.
Page 161. Please join me at the top of the page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
We're going to start just at the top of where the rabbi just read, top of 161, and then we'll move over to 160. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom, L'Shalom. L'Hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. Fros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu B'Shalom, B'Shalom. Hamidenu Shomrenu B'Chaim. Ufros Aleinu Shukat Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu Shukat Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
We continue with the Amidah on page 164. It is our minhag, it is our custom here at CBS to chant the first three brachot, the first three blessings together, and then I ask you to continue on your own, in your own way, until you have finished, at which point to please be seated. But for now, please rise, page 164.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agite hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'Nehem, L'man Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Oseru Moshiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol atah Rab Lehoshia. Mechalchel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim. Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishene Afar, Michamocha Bagurot, Umidom Melach, Melech Meimit, Umechayeh, Umatmiach Yeshua, V'neman atah lahachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. 180. Yehi ratzon imrefi v'hegion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri v'gohali Osei shalom b'mromah Osei shalom b'mromah Uya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael V'himru
At this point in our service, we think of those in need of healing on this Shabbat, healing of body, healing of spirit, and healing of heart. And we ask God to bestow the bracha, the blessing of refuah shlema, full and complete healing on the following men and women from our CBS family or those known and loved by our congregation. Lynn Feingold, Ilana Massey, Kevin Brackett, Michelle Camisia, Joshua Hyman, Dylan Bonnick, Diane Butler, Elsa Loach, Jesse Friedman, Tom Sabo, Beverly Eigner, Michael Kasson, Ed Eston, and Marjorie Gilberg. And if anyone has a name of someone they wish to add to our list, I invite you to please do so. The Mishaberach is on page 511.
Misheberach Avoteinu Mikor habracha le'imoteinu May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing and let us say Amen. Misheberach imoteinu Mikor habracha lavoteinu Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos again, and good to see all of you at the end of this beautiful week. The Torah portion for this week, for this Shabbat, is called Baha'alotecha, or Baha'alotcha, and it's from the book of Numbers, chapters 8 through 12. But I want to just focus on what happens at the very beginning. The very first verse or two of this Torah portion contains a reference to the menorah in Hebrew, the seven-branched candelabrum that stands in the center of the tabernacle and later in the temple in Jerusalem. Now, this menorah and I know many of you have seen the menorah. The menorah is arguably the most familiar symbol in all of Judaism. It's certainly one of the most well-known of all the different symbols in the Jewish tradition. It was the responsibility of Aaron. He was the high priest. He was in charge of the tabernacle. Later, priests were in charge of the temple, and they were responsible for building the menorah, maintaining the menorah, and using the menorah for ritual purposes. Now, 1,000 years after the time of Aaron, the menorah became the symbol of Aaron's descendants, the Hasmoneans. And as some of you may know, the Hasmoneans are the ones who reclaimed the temple in Jerusalem after the Maccabees' victory over their Hellenistic oppressors and occupiers. We celebrate that holiday, that victory, every year on which day or during which week? Hanukkah. And we light a very special kind of menorah that has 8 branches, not 7. And what's the Hebrew word for that? A Chanukiah, exactly, from Hanukkah. That's 1,000 years after the first reference to the menorah in our Torah portion. The menorah also appears on the Arch of Titus. Now, I know we have a pretty well-traveled congregation here. Has anyone been to Rome and gone to the Forum and seen the Arch of Titus? I know I have. If you look at the Arch of Titus, you will actually see Roman troops carrying out the menorah from the temple. When they sack Jerusalem and desecrate the temple, they bring the menorah with them to Jerusalem. There's a tradition that I was a teenager. I don't think that I followed it, but there's a tradition that you're not supposed to walk under the Arch of Titus because of that, because it commemorates this victory of the Romans over the Jewish people and this tragic event in the life of the Jewish religion as well as the Jewish nation. But almost 2,000 years after that, the menorah becomes the seal for the state of Israel in 1948. And following this tragic representation on the Arch of Titus, we have this joyous representation that you can still see on official documents for the state of Israel, in the Knesset, and in many other places. And it reminds me of that idea of the burning bush. Like the bush that burned but was never consumed, the light of the menorah, the light of the Jewish people, would never be permanently extinguished. It never was, and it never will be. It is a symbol, the menorah, of the Jewish people's resilience. Now, why is there such a focus on the menorah in the Torah, not only in this Torah portion? There are lots of other objects in the tabernacle and in the temple, but the menorah gets a great focus in the Jewish tradition. According to one midrash, one rabbinic literary commentary, it has God as saying, "As I shined a light on Israel, making them conspicuous among the goyim, among the nations, let them shine a light on me." So God is basically saying, I have shown a light on the Jewish people. I have singled the Jewish people out, and what I would like them to do now is to shine a light on me and help to single me out as the God of the world. We know as Jews that God takes no physical form. That would be idolatry in the Jewish theological worldview. So it is only when Jews live by the values, by the light of the Torah, that we embody what God stands for and bring those values into the world. That is our light, the light of Torah, the light of Jewish wisdom, our menorah. And that is what it means to be a light unto the nations. We have the obligation as Jews, the obligation as well as the honor of teaching by both personal and collective example what it means to be a covenant people. That is our special purpose. That is our superpower, as it were, to bring this light, to bring these values, not only to light within our own community, but throughout the world. And in this way, each and every one of us has the potential to be a menorah, to be a menorah, to illuminate and enlighten the world through our words and through our deeds. That is my wish to all of us on this Shabbat, and that is my hope for all of us as we move forward, and may it be God's will. Ken Yehi Ratzon. We are going to continue with the Aleinu on page 586. Please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'teit gedula li'yotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, vigor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Please remain standing. Zach and Lauren, would you please come up to the bima? You don't need anything. Zach and Lauren, we have been waiting a very long time to honor you as a couple this spring. And the Ufruf, as I said earlier, originally was going to be a few months ago, but because of COVID, because of a terrible family tragedy, and because of other factors, we had to wait until now. You had to get married, and you had to go on your honeymoon, and you're back, and you had a great honeymoon, and in one of my favorite places of the world, Alaska. And you're back, and you're settled, and you're living here, and you're with us, and we just relish this opportunity to bless you. But before I do that, I just want to say you have really blessed us. Lauren, as our synagogue director, you have contributed in a relatively short amount of time, just about a year, a little more than a year now, so much. You have made our congregation so much stronger, so much more efficient, so much better organized, and you bring a passion and a love of Judaism that I think is not all that common in Jewish professional life. And you have given so much and helped our community so much. And Zach, you are like Lauren's secret weapon. You're always here on Friday night. I see you in the office very frequently. You help so much both behind the scenes as well as in front of others. And the two of you as a couple are just such an inspiration. You uprooted your lives. You moved from Southern California to Napa. I know that is not an easy thing to do on a multiplicity of levels. But I hope that you're feeling more settled now with our congregation, in our community. And we're so happy that you found each other. You know, all of the zigzags in your journeys brought you together. And we're so happy to celebrate with you. I just want to add that as a couple, you are very inspiring to me. Whenever I see you, I mean, even tonight, when I see you as you are now, holding hands and celebrating Shabbat together, I hope you will continue to do that for years to come. It is a great example of what a loving partnership is, what a loving marriage is. And so at least when I see you, you are role models. Even though you've only been married for how many months now? Almost four already. So I want to offer a blessing. It's not the one I usually do. It's one that's very specific to a couple that either is about to get married or who has gotten married. And then Gordon wants to lead us all in his Shechianu. Mekor HaChaim, source of all life, we ask your blessing for Lauren and Zach. We pray that the sacred commitments of their marriage will sustain them all the days of their lives. May the love that binds them be strong and lasting, and their hearts be filled with patience and understanding for one another. Patience is really important, right? May their home be a mikdash ma'at, a sanctuary built on devotion to God, Torah, and Israel. Zach and Lauren, may you be blessed with health, courage, and good fortune, and may your love and friendship deepen throughout the years. We pray that you will find shalom together, and I ask everyone to please say with me, Amen. And let's have Gordon lead us all in the Shechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
I'm going to ask everyone else to please sit down, but I'd like you to stay because Mark Samrick, our recent president and now past president, has a few things he'd like to say to you too.
Well, it is my honor, on behalf of the synagogue, to wish you mazel tov, nachas, and just all the good fortune for you as you start your marriage. I want to present to you this gift from the synagogue, a mezuzah for your home, so that this will help you, this home will provide you with the good wishes, health and happiness, and nothing but the best. The Rabbi has said a couple of things that I was going to say, and I hope you
But you can
don't-
say them better than me.
well, nobody minds getting more praise, so I'll give you a little bit more. I have watched you. You have been a blessing to watch, a blessing to the synagogue. But more important than that, as I've watched the two of you, you're a blessing to each other, and it's just so nice to see. And I just want to wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And as I think everyone knows, we have a very special oneg in honor of Zach and Lauren waiting for us when services are over. Before we turn to the Mourner's Kaddish, we have announcements. And I see that the board member, Naomi, are you doing the announcements? Okay, Naomi's doing the announcements. I think there was a swap of board members. Okay,
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right. Don't miss Torah study tomorrow on Zoom only. Sunday the 19th, we will be hosting the Napa Valley Chamber Orchestra's concert beginning at 1:30 p.m. Join Soul Sisters Book Club on June 20th at 4 p.m. on Zoom with Ellen Elson, reviewing Hello Darkness, My Old Friend by Sanford D. Greenberg. Next week, Shabbat, June 24th, will be our board installation, Shabbat for our new 2022-2023 board members. Monday, June 27th is the first day of Camp Chavarim. We will have 2 weeks of our traditional Jewish day camp, and the third week will be Camp Invention, a STEAM camp where the campers will learn about physical and chemistry with hands-on programming. There's still time to register. If you have questions, contact Leah. July 1st will be a special Shabbat with special guest of our Israeli team volunteers for a camp speaking and a barbecue oneg to follow. August 7th, CBS will be at CIA Copia with L'Chaim Jewish Food, Wine, and Beer Festival, purchase tickets now for admission, tastings, and enjoy a summer day of Jewish entertainment and community. We'd like to give warm wishes to this week's birthdays and anniversaries. Happy birthday to Minnie Shostak, Erwin Herman, Lauren Randu, Deborah Wasserman, Sharon Goldman, Beth Painter, Max Sparks, and Jody Schipper. Happy anniversary to Paul and Deb Bloomberg, Irene and George Yesowich, Steve and Karen Sager, Joanne Miller and Michael Blend, Ron and Sandy Schneider, Ophir and Pamela Orr, and Martin and Harriet Spitz.
Thank you. As we reach the end of our service, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We remember those who have died during this past 12 months. Larry Elson, Arnold Trombler, Erica Cornelison, Gladys Shubin, Richard Magano, Clark Smith, Stephanie Rab Axner, David Ernesto Kaplan, Pat Pate, Annette Goldberg, Maggie Sherman, Sandra Banco-Fichtenberg, Nicholas Huff, George Montano, Dean Wilson, Norman Charney, David Alpert, and Renee Munoz. We also remember and honor the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of the deaths of Maurice Berman, Florence Shanker, Frida Current Teller, Norman Lenson, Howard Green, Arthur Innerfield, Henry Samrick, Benjamin Lazarus, Gertrude Trudy Soldinger, Judith Sandler, Herman Soldinger, Sid Berlin, and Percy Cohen. And if anyone has a name of a loved one they wish to add, please do so. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma v'divrach hiroteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'dechai b'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shmaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace grant peace to all those in mourning and comfort to all those who are bereaved. And let us all say amen. Please be seated. We have a final song now, and then we're going to say Kiddush and Motzi, and then enjoy this wonderful oneg in honor of Lauren and Zach.
Okay. I'm just looking to see if it's in here. But I'll sing it
Okay.
and you'll find it.
What's the it? What are we singing?
It goes like this. You'll know right from the first couple words. Oh Yeshama Arei Yehuda Uvechutzot Yerushalayim. Oh Yeshama. Is it in there?
I'm not sure.
Arei Yehuda Uvechutzot Yerushalayim. Kol sason kol
Another Jewish wedding song.
Another Jewish
Yeah, well,
wedding
I don't
song.
think it's in the Siddur, but,
Okay.
oh, 647, thank you. After the fact. Well, we did the Ufruf after the fact, so we can announce the page number after the fact. We are going to turn now to Kiddush and Motzi. Lauren and Zach, would you honor us by holding the wine and challah? And everyone else, please rise. Page 123. Oh, Kiddush.
Kiddush.
The longer version.
Baruch
Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hadafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu.
Shabbat kadsho b'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zicharon l'maaseh v'reishit Ihu yom tevilah l'mikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim Imanu v'harta Yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim V'shabbat koshecha b'ahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat.
L'chaim. I know there are only certain varietals you like. I hope that's one of them.
I have no idea what that is.
Please join us in the Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
B'tei avon. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Oh, they don't have it.
Shabbat shabbat shabbat
Oh, okay. Okay, Mazel Tov to both. Thank you.
shabbat
Go enjoy.
Shabbat 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 shalom shabbat 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 shalom shabbat shalom shabbat shalom shabbat 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 shabbat
Okay, thanks. I didn't know the page number.
Oh, I know. I thought